15 chefs from across the country were chosen to take part in a special James Beard Foundation boot camp coming up in a couple of weeks.
Including this guy,
Yeah.
one of those to receive this very special honor is Tampa Bay's own Greg Baker, executive chef at the Refinery and Fodder and Shine. Welcome. Congratulations.
Yeah, let's give you a round of applause.
I was going to say, and getting to talk with you, this is an award, something you've been working at, if you will, for what, the past few years you've been applying?
Yeah. Every year, about 2,000 chefs apply for this boot camp, and 15 are selected for each boot camp. And I've been trying to get in for the last few years, and something magically clicked this year. So here I go.
Why'd you want to get in so bad? What is it about? Tell us a little bit about the boot camp and what it is that you're going to be learning, and why you wanted to be a part of it.
It's really come around. It's come around to a point where a lot of chefs believe that there's more to be done in the world than just stay in the kitchen and cook. We have voices, we have ideas, and what this whole boot camp is about is advocacy training to affect change in food policy on both anywhere from the local to the national level, petitioning or lobbying Congress, or just working.
What are some of the issues, though, when you're talking about food and changing policy? I know waste is one that we were talking about that's going to be looked at.
This year, their main focus is on food waste, how to eliminate, or how to reduce it, how to look at things in different lights of being able to repurpose things, or something that is perfectly good but labeled as scrap could be turned around into something else, or turned around and distributed to somebody else who actually needs it, or composting programs anywhere in between.
Well, we can't have a chef on here without putting the chef to work and cooking for us. So speaking of saving food, what food have you brought here that you're going to be putting into a delicious recipe?
Well, I'm going to make a Persian butternut squash and lentil salad.
Sounds fancy.
I was going to say, I'm hooked. I'll say.
The weather's warming up a little bit. We're done with our soups and whatnot. So, all right. So I've got a little butternut squash. This is just peeled and cubed.
All right.
And add a little salt to that.
Is this something you can get at the restaurant? Is this something that you've
we've got it
for us this morning?
We've got a little more intense version of this on the menu at the restaurant. I've made this a little more home cook accessible. So I've got some turmeric that everybody's crazy about these days for its health benefits, a little bit of cinnamon, some mint.
All these ingredients I would never think to put together.
Yeah.
And we're just going to coat that in a little bit of olive oil. A little more salt just to be on the safe side.
I was going to say, it's like I want to dive in and ask more about the boot camp, but I don't want to distract you, because I know this recipe is definitely one our viewers at home are going to want to try.
And we're just going to lay that out on a sheet pan, try to get it as single layer as possible.
Kind of roast it like you would potatoes? Like
yes,
if you're gonna
absolutely.
Okay.
We're going to put this into a 400-degree oven for about 12 to 15 minutes.
Okay. I see one already done in there. Look at that magic of TV.
So we're going to let this cool down to room temperature.
Okay.
And just for purposes of time, I've got some lentils that I've just simmered with the same spices. We've got the coriander, or I'm sorry, we've got the turmeric, we've got the cinnamon, parsley, cilantro, and I've also cooled these down.
So at this boot camp, by the way, let's get back to this, because you said this is a nice boot camp. Let's not fool anyone and make it look like you're staying up all hours of the night.
Pulling the tires and everything, but that's not exactly.
Hey,
How much cooking is going to be done at the boot camp? Do you know yet? I mean,
we are actually slated to do a collaborative dinner on the first night of all 15 participating chefs.
Oh, all right.
So, being the executive chef at 2 different restaurants, what are you hoping to bring to the boot camp? What's kind of your message that you'd like to deliver?
Well, this is where I've been trying to get in. I've got lots of things I want to talk about, and a very small soapbox. Now I'm looking for I'm looking for the skills to get these things out there. One of my hot button topics is food insecurity. There's people who just simply don't have access to food, whether it's they can't afford it or they live in a food desert. There's a lot of initiatives going on across the country to be able to, change this. Whether it's increasing food banks or community gardens in inner cities, or, and I kind of believe that everybody should have access to food with some kind of nutritional value. I don't, you know, not
Well, and
eat
there's
out
a
of
technology
convenience stores.
component to that too, where farming is changing over the years, and how we're producing food is so much different than what it was, you know, 50 years ago.
Oh, absolutely. And
there is a science to it.
yes. And then there's the throwback that I believe in, is that we should be probably going back about 30 years and working with sustainable practices.
Absolutely.
And straying away from petroleum fertilizers and things like that, of, you know, worrying about the sustainability of our food. And that everybody should have access to.
Yep. All right. You're going to come back and tell us about this boot camp, right?
Of
We
course.
close up here.
I was waiting for the plantains, or I was
No,
waiting
these
for
are
those
just some
to
little
come.
fried strips of butternut squash to make it fancy. You know, I just took the butternut squash and
All right. Well,
cut it with a peeler.
congratulations again. Thank you for being here, and we can't wait to hear more about it when you come back.
Oh, looking forward to it.
All right. Up